It's Tom Childers. We have right here between authority and knowledge. It's like the perfect storm for power and knowledge-based capability. Oh, science. You know, knowledge is accumulated through the practice of science, which includes like critical thinking and research and developing new industries and technologies, and authority comes naturally through like meritocratic systems, through technological institutions like for example the power company, or the authorities that organize the internet, or the certain applications that became very popular. And so that power of authority sometimes gets understood as robber barons or as like tycoons. In certain systems they are. But what often happens is that we misunderstand the source of authority, because this is taken authority. This is not necessarily gained. It's not necessarily, there's a difference between the consent of the governed, taken authority, and earned authority, because all of it can be earned in a way, but the way to understand it differently is understanding man qua man. And what that does is that distills out and removes the earned authority of man, and it leaves behind the claims to authority that are seized and that are wrestled away from those below them. And so this like idea of authority and absolute power and the usage of knowledge and through the implementation of elitism, this is not a foreign concept. This is like the ingredients for the Dark Ages. This is how things got bad in a way that there were 100-year wars, 400-year wars in the feudal lands, like of serfs, and the Catholic Church was very powerful, and they were the only ones that were literate, and they kept all possession of all of the like books. And so the life of the peasant had lots of folk dances and arts and stuff, but their abilities and their opportunities were severely limited, and they were used as pawns of the machine. And the machine very specifically created some resources, but on an ever decreasing scale, and then they needed to then capture resources from their neighbors, and there was a lot of bloodshed. And so what we do now is that we remember modern incantations of power and knowledge as a pinnacle of the power structure in the social organization. And so once the rules of knowledge and like literacy and being able to be more familiarized and have the power of meeting and association, we've been able to like invert the system And so now we have this dream, not for like, we think that there's we have this fading memory culturally of the Illuminati, but what we really wish is that the people would rise up, that we would arm ourselves with the ideas and knowledge, and we'd take the power back. And that's like that's the Marxist ethos that drives the anarcho-communists, the the Black Bloc, the Antifa. They want to take power, and they want people to join them in their efforts, and institute systems in which they're rewarded for what they have learned and how they apply it to our society. Besides, paltry educators, stipends, and so there's the idea of combining the strong man with the smart man has such a great allure. Because wouldn't that be the ingredients of a good CEO, of a good president, of a good leader? I mean, it feels right. I would want a leader to be both powerful and smart. And so I understand a lot of the ethos. And I also believe truly that a lot of our society is wrong, and we got a lot of it wrong. And so, the truth of the matter is that people who knew what they were doing were in positions to do it, life would be a lot better. And so I feel for the idea of socially organizing with elitism. And I also think that, I'm like one of the strongest proponents of laughing in the face of Antifa. I just look at them and I'm like, are you guys kidding me? You're gonna cancel an event because of these schmoes? I'm like, dude, we need to do more push-ups or something, because they're a joke. There's no way that we should be being pushed around with these twerps. But it's very easy to go off in the wrong direction. In any direction. And so, as it turns out, using science and knowledge to control people top down works out the way that it always works out. Because people actually aren't good at determining what other people should do in a wide range of things. And so the wider range of things you try to control of another person, the worse that it works out. And so as you go in this direction, it becomes bad. Things start not working out. And then as a result, people try to change how they're living, how the economics of the situation starts developing, and then now rules are getting broken, they got to enforce the rules, and then new unplanned problems are showing up. And so as things start getting more, it's basically the fast track to famine and depopulation. Depopulation by putting down revolts and revolutions. And so it's a path that goes straight downwards to the abyss of genocide and rabid takeovers. That's a very offensive way to end that.